Okay, so the final video in this series of the circus prints using Illustrator is going to be the stripe and plaid. I'm doing them in the same one because essentially it's the same thing. With a stripe you have one section of lines. With a plaid you have them going both ways. So let's do circus tent and then we'll move on to clown pants. So here's circus tent, a pretty basic stripe. What's nice is you can use the rectangle tool and plan out all of your sizes to make it work. Now, if I had taken just the pink, white, and pink stripe and brought them in as the pattern, I wouldn't have that alternating pink and white stripe. So the tile is, I think you can see that right there, the tile is actually that whole square. So again, we'll open a new artboard, do this pretty quickly. This is a 1.5 by 1.5, so that's what I will do. Okay. Again, I'm going to keep it so that I have that black outline so I can see what I'm doing. And now I'm going to create the other ones. Now, what I have is I have a narrower pink stripe to a wider white stripe. So my white stripe basically makes up 1 inch and the pink stripe makes up 1/2 inch. So each pink stripe is 0.25 and it's the whole height. So if I go in here and do 0.25, okay. I can fill it with the pink, but I don't want a stroke on it. Oops, sorry about that. Pink, no stroke. And now I want to make sure that my next one is over the right size. So I can do it a couple different ways. I could make an actual white rectangle that is 0.5, right? And this comes up here, right? I can copy this, paste it, and I know that this one comes right up to here. Now I could then choose to delete this one, and now I have my spacing. That's kind of a nice way for me to work out the spacing. Obviously you could use grids and rulers and do it this way, but this is kind of a nice quick way to do it. Again, we don't want the stroke on our pattern. If I group it all and select the whole thing, now it's getting that blank space right there, right? Because it's not actually a blank space. And I can pull it in. Now I want to select, kind of lost my whole thing here. I'm going to fill a rectangle with my stripe. Oh, I've done the outside edge. There we go. All right, so that's our stripe. And now let's move on to our plaid. Pretty straightforward. If you do get some of that tiling issue, you could do the same thing that we've done before where you've expanded the color a little bit beyond that size of the pattern. Clipping mask it, crop it, and then pull it in. So now on to our clown pants. At our workspace, here we go. So I think you can see again, we're dealing with basically rectangles that we've used. I did the same thing in that I used a blank spacer. So let me just, I'll copy one of these and just bring it over. And you notice that you can see through some of them, so there's a transparency on them. Kind of works nice with plaids. So I can, again, use my rectangle tool to create a rectangle that is smaller than, or I could also do it this way. Let's do it this way. I could do it by measurements. I could also, if I copy this, right, there it is. I can choose to make it a little bit narrower, and this kind of becomes my spacer. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this one. Let me ungroup these or get them individually. I still have that one. I can switch it to my pink. There's my pink. Remember, I can get rid of that one. I can also copy it. Again, I'm just using it as my spacer. You know when it connects. Come here. And move this one over. I mean, and I could certainly use this as my plaid as well. So now I can delete this one, delete this one. They work as little spacers. And now I'm going to add these ones in. Now, it's not a balanced plaid. I certainly could do it as a balanced plaid, but I wanted a little more space between this so it wasn't the same 3x3. Again, I'm using my guide so that I know what I'm doing. Now, if you notice on here, obviously my spacing's a little different. So I can go ahead and crop that, or I could actually, let's make this one a little bit different. And let's expand this so that we have a little more space between this one. Do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this and copy it. I want to make sure, see, there I am aligned. I'm going to switch it to my yellow color. Okay, now if I pull that whole thing in, this should become my plaid. And group it. And I'm going to pull it in. Again, I can open another artboard. Lots of different ways to do this. You guys know how we do this now. And we want to fill it with our plaid. There you go. So that is a stripe and a plaid, an unbalanced plaid. See you soon.